Let's now talk briefly about presupposition triggers. By presupposition triggers, we mean certain words or lexical combinations which presuppose some information by their very presence in a sentence or utterance. These triggers may also be derived from some syntactic construction. That means they may consist of more than one words combined together. In the following example, you can see that the cleft construction in sentence A and the pseudo-cleft in B share the presupposition in C given below them. A sentence is, you can see that it was his behavior with frogs that disgusted me. What disgusted me was his behavior with frogs. And in case of both sentences, we have the assumption or presupposition that something has disgusted me. So whatever the form of sentence it is, something has disgusted me. Other forms of subordinate clauses may also produce some presupposition. It's not reduced only to this kind of constructions. Other forms can also presuppose things in semantics. And in this regard, we can see some adverbial, especially time adverbial clauses and comparative clauses. We have certain words, especially verbs, which can also be considered as lexical triggers. They produce certain meanings. In this regard, one of the popular category is of those factor verbs, which represent certain states, and the words and the information following these factor verbs is assumed to be true. The popular examples of these factor verbs can be seen in the words like regret, realize. For example, if I say, I regret going to Islamabad, that means that I went to Islamabad. So you can assume that I went to Islamabad. So that's why I said I regret going to Islamabad. So assumption is that I went to Islamabad. Similarly, if I say I have realized that we should stand together, this means that we should stand together. Or I realize she was not wrong. So we could assume that she was not wrong as true, because I have realized it. And these words do actually indicate some fact or some truth after themselves. Some other examples can be seen here. For example, only the sentence with factor realize presupposes the C in the following statement. That's the assumption. We have three sentences in front of us. First two sentences are being built with the help of factor and non-factor verbs respectively. For example, A is built with the factor verb realize, and the B is built with a non-factor verb think. And we can see that the C, which is the presupposition, is based on the factor verb only. The first sentence, which is A, is Sarah realized that Ikra had dandruff. Second one is Sarah thought that Ikra has dandruff. So Ikra had dandruff is the presupposition, is based on sentence A, which include the factor verb realize. Some other verbs like those of judgment can also presuppose certain things. If we just look at the examples in front of us in form of A, B, C sentences, again we can see the first sentence, John blamed me for telling her. John accused me of telling her. These two sentences are based. First one is based on some kind of judgment verb. For example, the verb blamed is considered to be a judgment verb. So based on this, we have a presupposition, I told her. Again, one verb blame produces the presupposition in C, while another accuse doesn't, because accuse is not a judgment verb. We can also have some other kinds of words. We call them change of state verbs. For example, start, begin, stop, which also produce certain presuppositions, and such presuppositions are usually known as switch presuppositions. These presuppositions indicate the beginning or start of something which had not existed before, or prior to what is being mentioned. We have an example here. Judy started smoking cigars. That means, or we can presuppose that Judy didn't used to smoke previously. She has just started it. So when we say somebody has started doing this, we assume that that person was not doing that particular thing previously or prior to when he or she has started it now. So these are some of the examples of presupposition which are available in form of change of state verbs. So there could be other forms of presuppositions, and obviously because of the limitations of time and space, we couldn't mention them all. But this kind of lexical presuppositions are usually known as the lexical triggers or presupposition triggers.